Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room, this gigantic Japanese barberry that is one of the most invasive things you could ever buy. I'll tell you the story behind it, and that's when I started gardening 25 plus years ago. If you go to the garden center and you want something that's easy to grow, hard to kill, and the deer don't eat, well, they're going to recommend you buy Japanese barberry. But that's a really poor choice. It's very invasive. It gets into our woods, and the University of Connecticut has done a study that shows that woods that are near areas that have Japanese barberry, that their tick population is 12 times higher than that of woods that don't have Japanese barberry. They say that just by removing Japanese barberry, you can reduce the tick population, the Lyme-carrying tick population by as much as 60%. So not only is it a horrible thing that it doesn't add and feed our pollinators, but what it does is produce more ticks in our gardens. This is a project that I've had in mind for years to do, and I've been avoiding it. And I've been avoiding it because it is taking up a large area of my garden. So removing it is going to mean that I'm going to have a blank slate to start with. The other reason is that I know this is going to be a really difficult and awful job. This shrub is full of thorns. It's difficult to work with. So this is not going to be a pleasant job at all. It's very invasive, and it ends up in the woods, and it ends up spreading to many places. When it does spread, it will reproduce as it'll lose the red color and usually just be green out in the woods, so many people don't even recognize it as the same thing because we usually buy it for the red color in the leaves. So the easiest way to remove this monster is to take a chain, tie it around in a chain, and pull it with a truck and just pull it out, roots and all, because it will regrow from the roots. But that's nothing. That's not an option that I have in here. I can't get a truck in here. So we're going to have to do it the hard way. And that's going to be take down branches and use an electric saw to remove some of the others. And you didn't think this was a job that I was going to do all by myself, right? I'm going to have my husband is here. This has been on the honey-do list. So this is part of the honey-do list that's going to be taken out today. And I'm curious to see just how many hours it's going to take us to do this. So the first hour and 10 minutes was spent getting it to this point. Now we have to figure out how to get this big old stump out. And 3 lawn and leaf bags full, almost a 4th one full, and all of this to go. So do yourselves a favor, do our ecosystems a favor. Never plant Japanese barberry. Well, after 2 hours, a lot of progress has been made, and it's budging. We've done a lot of digging, and it's budging, but we're tired. We're going to try this again tomorrow. We'll finish it up tomorrow. All right, so here we are back for day 2, and using various tools to dig around, and we're going to get this monster out of here today. So we've been using a pruning saw, prune away at the roots, and also shovels to dig it out. Anything we can find to just try and dig it out and disconnect the root. And the reason that I'm taking the stump out is because if I leave it, I know it will regrow. Plus I want to get busy on replanting the area. So here it is, success, it's out. only took us about another 20 minutes today, so that's about close to 2.5 hours altogether to remove it, and never mind that we still have to clean up and bag all the branches. And now for alternatives. What can you use instead of Japanese barberry? Well, I'm planning to use witch hazel, which blooms, the one I'm getting blooms late in the fall, and they have unusual flowers with these curly, looks like ribbons, and some of them are fragrant. I'm planning to get a fragrant one. So it'll also have autumn color. We'll get some autumn color. Some other options, of course, are our native viburnums. There are a number of them you can use, and those would also provide berries for the birds. So those would be good choices. If you're looking for something evergreen, you can use our native holly or our native inkberry. And if you prefer the look of the small leaves like Japanese barberry, our inkberry has smaller leaves, and you're going to have an evergreen shrub all year. Other possibilities are shrubby St. John's wort. You can also use nine bark, and if you wanted barberry because of the thorns, there are native alternatives that you can use. You can use a native rose or our native raspberries if you were really looking for something to maybe delineate your property and have thorns. So I hope that this has helped you with alternatives to Japanese barberry and to convince you never to plant it again. You'll just be making our ecosystem so much better and reducing the amount of ticks in your own garden. So please join us for our next video on Native Plant Channel. Please go to our Facebook page where you can find a lot more information and other alternatives as well. And have a great day. Thank you for making everything better.